Alright, so when we walk out here in the shop, the first thing we're going to come into is we have our shipping area where everything gets packaged, shipped out, labeled, and sent out the door. Come on over this way. We still do some 3D printing for the rotaries and some prototyping and things like that for other people as needed. So that's where that happens. We have a few printers there. We have some others that are kind of put on standby, but that's where those sit. So back here we have all of our laser equipment for doing local custom jobs for people, businesses, things like that, as well as we use some of them to actually engrave the rotaries themselves. In the back we have two fiber lasers. We have a thunder laser and then a regular fiber on the right hand side. And then we have our 3 thunders here. We have a Nova 24, an Odin 32, and a Nova 63. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at kind of the process behind building the rotaries from basically start to finish and show you how they move kind of down our assembly line, so to speak. Right here is where we keep a lot of the pre-built parts. So that way it's easier, and these guys don't have to build everything from the ground up every single time. We have some pre-built parts here, and then we have all of our inventory for any of our plates, towers, hardware, O-rings, all that stuff is on these shelves here. And then the way the process here kind of works is we have sort of like assembly line. I don't really like to think of it that way, but it kind of is. We have our back table here where basically the first guy will take all the raw components, the pre-built pieces that we've seen over there, and the stuff on the shelves back here, and start building the basic assembly. And what that kind of looks like is this here. This is kind of the basic assembly. And basically the first stage of actually building up the rotaries. Once they go from here, they go to our the next phase, which we'll show you next door, or the next bench over. One thing about all this, to keep continuity and everything between everybody that's working in here, all of these hardware bins are the same. So essentially one person can go from one place to another or help somebody from another one, and they know exactly where everything's at, to try to keep everything kind of streamlined and efficient as much as we can. And then kind of the stuff on the side over here is kind of their personal stuff and how they want to keep things as far as little extra pieces and parts. But going from this stage, they'll actually go up on the shelf here, and once they go on the shelf here, the guy at the next station up here will then take it from that and actually build it into this assembly right here, which is basically everything but the O-rings and the motor. So once this gets done here, it'll be placed on the next guy's shelf, which is right here. He will then take them, he'll do all of the final checks, he'll put the O-rings on it to let the quality control checker know that everything is ready to go. He'll put the motor on it, and this is basically how it leaves this station minus this. Once this gets put on there at the final station, that's when the final QC looks at it, says it's good. Once this is on there, it's ready to go out the door. From this station, we basically have a staging area for the quality control checks, and that's what's on these shelves here and on the back side as well. All the rotaries that come from that last station go up here. You can kind of see the stickers on there that kind of indicate who they've already been through, and each sticker represents a particular person in that process. And then once it gets over to QC or quality control, that's when the bags go on it, like you can see down here on the juniors. And then once it's been QC'd, Somewhere on the rotary you'll have a green QC sticker, meaning that it was control checked before it was shipped. And then this would be an example of a rotary that's ready to get boxed up and shipped out. So that's kind of the process for building it. Kind of a brief glimpse of what it takes to actually build these, or what kind of process it goes through. We do have videos out already that show the time-lapse build of the Junior and the RotoBoss, so you can kind of get an idea from start to finish. And I mean, like, from every nut and bolt put together, start to finish, it shows you the process of building both of those rotaries. So it's kind of interesting to see. We do have full-length video, but I don't think you want to spend an hour watching someone put a rotary together. So obviously it's sped up to allow you to kind of see everything in a brief time frame. And then once everything's boxed up, if it doesn't already go out the door, we've got our staging areas up in the rafters where we keep extra rotaries that are ready to go out the door. Some on this side and some on this side, depending on the brand or the model. So that's pretty much it. All right, so now that we checked out how the process goes with building the rotaries, who they go through, and how they get checked before they're shipped out, now we're going to take you over here to the packing machine and show you how it actually gets packaged up and shipped out to the customer. Here in a little bit, we'll go ahead and show you the process of how we package up our rotaries and stuff. This is not specific to rotaries, but that's what we mainly use this for. So that's kind of what we'll show you here in a little bit. We'll kind of depict is from kind of start to finish of what it takes to package one up. But we've always packed them with foam for, you know, probably the past couple of years. And what we used to use is it's a really good product, the Sealed Air Quick RT, Instapack Quick RT. These are the ones that you pop, you kind of mix it up, and it pops and expands and fills the container or whatever you're putting it in, and then you place your product inside of it to cushion it. We used to use these a lot. We still have some left over, but with the volume that we put out now, these things are, one, not cost effective, and two, it's just very cumbersome to use and deal with and keep in stock. So what we've basically done is we went out and we got the actual Sealed Air. It's a Speedy Packer Insight. This is a packing machine that has custom settings for whatever you're doing. Like, we have numbers across the front here. These are all programmed for different packages that we send out for, like, say, the RotoBoss Junior, a top, a bottom, whatever. They're pre-programmed in here, and they're also, you can access them through the touch screen on the display panel there. Basically what this does is it takes this chemical down here, which these are some new ones we haven't put in yet, but behind this table there's two of these, and what this does is it takes a mixture from the two of these, puts them together inside here, and it basically fills the bag on demand. And that way you can, like I said, you can adjust the size, how much foam's going in it, based on what you're packing and whatnot. It seals it, fills it, cuts it off. It's just so much easier. Some of you guys might have stuff like that or need things like that packed. This is a rather expensive way to do it, but for us it just turned out to be so much easier because everything's right here and we can dictate what goes in the packaging based on the needs of the contents of the package, which for us is mainly the rotaries.